So hi, welcome back to our YouTube channel. You're with THiNC Institute of Design. As promised, we are back with yet another episode of Ask the Toppers series. So with me today we have Aswin, who is a former student of THiNC Institute of Design, who is currently doing his transportation and automobile design in NID Gandhinagar. So I welcome Aswin. Hi,
Hi.
how does it feel to be back with THiNC?
Yeah, it feels awesome to be frank. And how do you do? How are you, Aditya?
I'm good, I'm good.
Okay.
So how is it
Cool.
going with you? How are you?
Right now, I'm at my home itself, doing classes online through Zoom, Google Meet, and all those platforms. Missing college days because I have been to college to for like 6 weeks, but that's not too big. But yes, I have been there, and we
At
had
least you
a
got
good
6
time
weeks.
there. Yeah, 6 weeks, like, yeah, 1.5 months. We did a lot of work over there. Got to know a lot of people, like from the tiles, Zoom car tiles, to more like real interaction than virtual. So it was really fun, and we got to see almost everyone came there. So that was a lucky moment. And yeah, uh, just the problem was we didn't have an interaction with our seniors because of this situation. Hope we'll be meeting them soon too. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So are we ready? Are we ready to share some of your inputs and how did you prepare and all with the upcoming
Yeah,
aspirants?
yeah, yeah. Yes, sure. Yes, yes, of course. I would. I'm really glad to help them out. At least in my discipline, if I'm helping them out, I'm really glad. Uh, so yeah, let's start. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
before we
okay.
start, just a thing. Before we start, whatever I'll be answering, my answers would be like my opinions. Don't take it wrong or anything like that. So
Yeah, that's totally fine. That's
yeah,
totally fine.
it was helpful for me, but I don't know whether it is like it will be helpful for the others. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's begin with the first question. Why
Sure.
design? Why design as a career? Why not something else?
Yeah. So from my childhood itself, I was been into automobiles. So I liked automobiles from like really like when I was a very small child. So from the days where I didn't have memories to that, so we don't remember those times. So that from that period onwards, I was into automobiles, and my brother, he was great motivation, and I was not a very great studious guy, so I was. Like I was happy doing all this creative stuff. I used to draw something. I used to try out different creative stuff. And once when I got to understand that there is like a profession called designer, and that's when I thought I'll jump into this itself because I want to do automobiles, and automobile designer is my profession. That's my passion, and I used to draw cars. My yeah, so that's when I got into design. And talking about design, like according to me, my opinion, according to me, design is more like solving things creatively. So it's a way of life, I would say.
Okay.
So when you get into it, it is so much fun. So much fun to learn new things, to implement that sketching, and yeah. So I guess you get my enthusiasm, right? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am
yeah,
really
yeah, yeah.
I
I
really
can
love
totally
to be a
see. I
designer.
can totally see.
It's super
Okay,
fun to be
didn't your
frank.
parents force you? Okay, didn't your parents force you to take M.Tech after? I guess you have a B.Tech background.
Yeah.
So didn't your parents force you to take M.Tech or do something
Uh,
else?
No, they were supportive. They were really supportive because from my school days itself, I used to say that this is what I want to do. I didn't know what happens in the industry, to be frank, till when I got into the NID. But till then, I didn't know what happens in the industry. But there is a profession known as automobile designer, and this is what I want to do. That was there in me. Like I used to say to everybody who asked me what you want to do, that this is what I used to say to them. So they also knew that this is what I want, this is what I like. So they didn't force me to do anything. They were supportive.
They were supportive. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm really blessed to be like that. Blessed to be having supportive parents and family.
So, what was the reaction of your parents when you got a score of, you got a rank of 6 in the All India ranking? So, what was their reaction?
Yeah, so the funny part is the result came at a very unexpected time. Okay, so the final result, after the mains, the final result came at a very unexpected time. Like it was at 11 o'clock at night. 11 at night, the result came. So somebody called me and said, the results came and have you had a look at it? I said, no. Why are you kidding? Like, are you making fun of me? The results will not come at this point of time. Like 11 o'clock, who will put the results? That was my reaction. I looked into the results. I said to my father and my mom and my parents and my brother, my family. So they were really surprised. Like they were not surprised, but surprised. But they were really happy, extremely happy. But at that point of time, we cannot call somebody and say that I've got a result like this, because 11 o'clock you call somebody, they'll be first time they see the call, they'll panic, right? So that was the situation. But they were really happy. They were really happy, and we had a good time, good night at that time. Everybody had dinner, and at that point of time, this result.
Okay.
Yeah, they were really happy.
Did you ask for any party, or did you give any party to your friends or something?
I actually didn't give. I slipped away from those parties and all, because it was Corona time. Yeah, so I used that as an excuse and didn't give them party. But once they get me in their hands, I think I'm gone. I'll be dead.
So you escaped.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now let's move on to something a bit of a serious questions. Like, what was your preparation strategy, or how did you prepare for your exams? So tell us something about it.
Yeah. So I happened to crack NID the second time I attempted. So the first time I did all this. So that's when I started to get into design. Till then I was an engineer. So the sketching will be a little down. So at that time I started practicing. At that time I got that thing in my mind that this is what I wanted to do from my childhood. I have to work for it. So from that day on, so first time when I was trying for it, like for the 2019 batch. So the exam was on 2018, and I started sketching. I was in THiNC at that time. So I went into THiNC, enrolled in their course, and that's when I got to know a lot of people, a lot of insights I got. I'm really thankful for that. They gave me a proper a space to get into this game. Yeah, they gave me a lot of experience.
They help you grow, right?
Yes. I was searching for that word. So they helped me grow as a designer rather than an engineer. So then I got a lot of contacts. That's when I got to know there is something called THiNC. and that's where people put their they consider it as a digital portfolio. You have Pinterest to look into a lot of inspirations. Those things I got to know when I came to THiNC. So I thank THiNC for that. And yes, so the strategy was more like you need to sketch. You need to sketch like a lot. So whatever you should have something in your hand, at least a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. You have to sketch whatever you. So that should be like it should be part of your life. Like a designer should sketch because that I'm saying it because it will help you improve your creativity, and also the way you see things, proportions. That's what makes a lot of difference in this. And if I talk about my discipline, the transportation and automobile design, there be this proportions, perspective, the what human figures. It's not that important for us, but that is important because after all, humans are using automobiles. So we need to know that. We need to know what and how people are at least doodling. By doodling, you have to doodle. You have to do live sketch at whenever you get time. Do live sketch. Like at least get the proportions of a bottle. Say you are having a bottle in front of you. Just sketch that and look at it and sketch that and look into your sketch and check whether it feels like the bottle you are seeing. So that's something we have to work on. Like sketching is very important. At least for M.Des, I didn't enroll for B.Des. Like I did M.Des only. After the B.Tech only I got into M.Des. So M.Des is more like master. It is a master's course, right? So you are going for a specific discipline specific course. Like, while registering in NID itself, you will be registering for NID in specific disciplines. For the exam, the preliminary exam itself, you will be registering for discipline specific way. Okay. So that thing you have to have in mind. So you need to sketch a lot. Yeah. So sketching is really important, and looking at previous question papers actually helps you know how, not the pattern, I would say, the how creative questions could come, like and the time limit. So you can work hard. You can work on previous question papers too, and so but don't rely on completely on previous question papers. Check the questions, how creative they are coming, and practice on that. Because when I attended the first time, it was like they changed the whole pattern that year. So referring to all question papers, if we had gone in that direction itself, according to that itself, then it would have been difficult for us. They changed the whole pattern and they stressed more on creativity, sketching, and that's it. And proportions, just like proportions, as in, say for example, you have a bottle and a glass. They'll give a bottle and a glass image on one side, and then they'll give two questions wherein the first question will be, they'll be asking like, what if the bottle's height has been half and the height of the glass has been double? So it depends on how the proportion, how proportionate is it. So you have to place both those together and sketch. And the next question would be, what if this is tripled and the other one is half or something like that? So it depends on the proportions, right? And it should be, it is like scaling down, right? So the proportions should be correct, and how the shape and form factor should be correct. If it is a bottle like that, it should be like that itself, right? So for that, actually live sketching helps. And also, if possible, I would say that while attending the question papers, you have to break down the whole time, where you can first you give the structure so that a person seeing that is understanding that. then finally allot a different time for shading and defining that, because when you go through the question paper, go through the questions, sometimes you won't get time to attend all those. So I would say that give the basic structure where a person can understand, and then attend the next question, the next question, the next question, and come back and detail and go. So that's some strategy which I took while attending both the times. So it was helpful for me.
I was supposed to ask about the previous year question paper, did it help and all, but you gave me an answer. So I would like to modify the question into something else. Did you depend upon or did you rely on any books or something like that? Any sort of a textbook or something?
Books? No, I didn't refer any kind of textbooks or anything. But the previous question papers actually helped me to understand the types of questions, or how being creative and attending how creative questions are, like they give all these kinds of creative questions, not very plain common regular questions. They give creative questions. So like referring to old question papers, previous question papers actually gave me the idea of how creative questions will come. But books, I had read something, not books as such, but read something related to NID itself, like the AIMS India report. If you have heard it, AIMS India report is what actually gave birth to design studies in India, and especially NID. So have a look at it. I don't want to like explain it to you. Just have a look at it. Explore yourself. Yeah, read those kind of how NID came, how design in India, because NID is actually focusing on developing design in India itself. So how design in India came, what is design in India, and those kind of things. You just keep on reading. That actually helped me.
Yeah. Okay. Special type of question which you found it tougher, or was there any portion that you skipped?
Tough. I am personally I am bad with memory, so I haven't looked into general knowledge. So I skipping whichever questions I have skipped were general knowledge, but there were not a lot of general knowledge. Don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. Okay. Just give last preference to general knowledge, and sketching ideas creatively. Fast sketching is what is required, as I said earlier too. So I would not say that questions were tough, but it was super fun. And so this time, the last time I wrote for the exam, I saw a question where it was said that we need to answer the problem of air pollution in Delhi. Okay, air pollution in Delhi. So the root cause of air pollution in Delhi is not because of automobiles. That's the first thing we need to understand. Okay, so that's so those who have whoever so they'll see what we know about things firstly, and then they'll see that how so within the given time how fast we are giving a creative solution, right? So that was a really nice question, and especially in automobile design there was so I'm talking about the last time. So they gave something like a meter, okay, a pressure gauge meter, and with that meter we need to do something related to automobile. So we had to make some automobile out of it. So that was a really interesting question. So yeah, they are giving this kind of questions, not very direct questions. They are giving it, and also they gave a side view of a car. So I'm talking about transportation design itself, okay? Because I don't know about other disciplines. Because M.Des we apply for discipline specific course. So I had applied for transportation design and role. So in this question, so what they gave was side view of a car, which we usually see in India itself. That car, so firstly we need to name the company and the car, which car it was, and then the next two part was we had to sketch the perspective view of like 3/4 views of this car, like the front 3/4 and the rear 3/4. Okay, so that depends on how we had observed that wave. Like they gave only the side view and the front and the rear details. So how much you can replicate that? That's what they are looking at. So it is easy. You have to just observe the cars around, cars and vehicles around. That's it. Indian, mostly Indian. So these were some interesting questions which I attempted last year. That was fun. Yeah, it was tough. Of course, it was tough in the sense that we had to replicate all these details for this car, and then we had to come up with some creative vehicle out of that pressure gauge. Just like two taps or two pressure gauges, and there is a pipe. That's all. So we had to come up with something creative with that.
Creative.
So yeah, with that. So and also this also it also depends on how you set the scene, like how you present the
everything should be happening in your head, and you need to bring that out into a paper.
Yeah. So you don't. It's not compulsory for you to color or anything. Painting is not a compulsory thing. If you can sketch with a pen and that's it, then it is also okay. But the way you present it, like you have with one image, you have to show the whole scenario of how that vehicle is working.
Okay.
Say for example, if you are so what I did was I did a rescue boat, 4 boats. Okay. So those boats which got stranded inside the sea, this boat goes and rescues and come with it to the city. So how I framed that was like showing the rear view of the boat, and these 2 pressure gauges being the cockpit, like where or the deck or whatever it is. So that is where this captain and everybody will be there, and the boat was having the one rescued boat attached to it, and this boat was directly going to the city. In one image I was showing that, like it was pointing towards the city, so I drew something like scribbled something like a city over there. So you can understand that okay, there you can see the city, and this is on an ocean because I gave some waves. That's it. That you don't have to define everything, but just giving waves that gives an idea of this being on a water, right? On water. And this being a rescue boat, I showed one boat being rescued. That's it. So I would say you need to know how to frame what you are going to present, because you are not showing the whole scenario. You're just giving one image, right? So that also have to be kept in mind. So while preparing, also you have to do something like this. Like it's all about telling the story. Yeah. So storytelling is a very important thing, and how fast you do it.
What kind of preparation is needed for doing M.Des drawing questions?
Preparation for doing M.Des drawing questions. Firstly, you need to, as I said, understand the proportions. Proportions matters a lot, and like live sketching helps. Live sketching helps a lot because you understand the materials, how the light falls, the reflection, the shadow, and everything. And giving that kind of not too defined sketch. They don't want something like. If you are showing glass, you don't have to show the whole reflection. How minimally you can show that is enough. Like they need to understand. Say you are showing a glass and water inside. You don't have to give all the shadows and reflections. You just have to show that there is a glass and inside there is water. That is enough, right? And how it's all about doing it fast because the time period of the the question paper is very limited.
Okay.
And yeah, so one more thing is that so while you're sketching, so while attending the exam, I'm saying attending the exam, when something comes in your mind, right away do that. Because if you start thinking of another solution, you will keep on thinking another solution. So it will take time. So the thing coming to your mind first, just do that. Just at least write it down somewhere in the question paper, some corner or something, so that if you want to come back, so because at that moment you are thinking something creative or whatever it is, but at that time you are getting some idea, just do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that has actually helped me.
So how often did you try doing sketching of yourself? Like, how often did you practice sketching?
Practice whenever I got time. So when I came to think after that only, I started to carry at least a paper and a pen with me. Like a paper will be on my pocket and I'll have a pen in my pocket. Okay. And whenever I get time, I'll try to sketch something. Sketch whatever I see also, I'll sketch. Because that will help. Initially, it will be like you'll be thinking that, okay, what will others think while I'm sketching? But if you sketch, you will succeed, right? Don't think what others will think about you. Just do whatever. So because at that time you are getting creative, and if you are bothering more regarding this, people thinking about you something else, so that kills that vibe. So coming back to the question, how often I used to sketch? Whenever I get time, I used to sketch. Like at that time, me and my brother started a firm over here. So I used to be there also. At that time, I used to be busy, but at some point of time, we'll be free, right? At that time, I used to sketch. I used to have a sketchbook, like a pocket sketchbook, and a pen. That's enough. So it's not a mandatory thing. You have to sketch all the time. Try to sketch whenever you can. That's all I'm saying. And don't think of what you are sketching. Like you should. It could be some birds. It could be some car, bike, or pen, or watch, or anything. What you see around, you can sketch. There is no restriction on that. So whenever you get time, whenever you can, just sketch. That's it.
Okay. So you know that M.Des is offered in IIT as well. Then why NID?
NID and IIT difference between I've tried both. I have been to both the institutions. The first time I was appearing for NID, I appeared for IIT as well, IDC. So there also I had a chance to visit the campus and had an interview over there. That was also fun. But NID is, as the name suggests, it's National Institute of Design. It is a design institute. But IIT it has a design wing. It's not a design institute. So the way this happens is very different. So in IIT you will get. So I'm not saying that IIT is bad or NID is good or anything like that. It's subjective. It's subjective. I didn't want to go for it. NID is more free. NID gives you a lot of freedom. IIT also gives you. It's more like giving you. If you research on NID, you'll get to see that they are following a principle called Bauhaus or Bauhaus. It's said in that way. Okay, Bauhaus principle. It's more like you are learning things through activities. It's in simple terms. This is what it is. You are learning new things through activities. So you are doing something to learn something. It's not like you have a curriculum. You have to do this. No, they're giving the freedom. Say if you're set to write something on a piece of paper, so that's part of the curriculum. Okay, they're saying, asking you to write whatever you write, whichever pen you use, whatever paper you use, whatever language you use, it's all up to you. That kind of freedom. So this is kind of a metaphor I'm saying. That's you have a structure in NID, but they give you all the freedom to do whatever you want in that curriculum. Like finally, curriculum is for that structure is for giving you an assessment of yourself. NID assess you from the past and whatever you are right now, and and assess and give you marks, because marks has to be given. For the sake of giving marks, they'll give marks, but they give all the freedom, and also they give it's a different approach altogether in NID. That's why I chose NID, and I have been to both the colleges before. So as I said, for the interview only, but I went to both the institutions. I got to see the vibe of that institute when Corona was not there, like how it has to be. And I have seen that, and I personally liked NID more. That's why I went to NID. Advantage of IIT over NID would be that you will be getting stipend, and the fees of IIT is very less, and also the M.Des course in IIT is 2 years, and NID it's another 6 months too. So it is like 2.5 years for NID, 5 semesters, and you have 4 semesters for M.Des in IIT. And placement wise, if you are thinking, both are kind of the same. And placements in NID and IIT are more of the same, where you get all this premier companies coming to you. And but as I said, the advantages of IIT over NID are the course structure are different, and you get a degree of M.Des in 4 semesters, that is 2 years. In NID, it will get into 5 semesters, and you get stipend in IIT, not in NID. And the fees is very less in IIT, when NID is
compared to
it is expensive, yes, but not as expensive as all the other institutions, like as a whole in the world, if you see. But it's pretty expensive when compared to IIT and IDS.
Okay. So moving on, you said that you repeated for 1 year. So was it helpful? How was that whole year for you?
Repeating an year actually helped me build a strong portfolio, I would say, because that is what matters. I had a tinge of what happens in the prelims, and during the mains, in the first time when I went there, I didn't have that kind of a strong portfolio, because I haven't done projects on design at that time. So repeating 1 year, I did some projects. I had different kind of exposure towards automobile design. I did a diploma course in automotive design and research in Mantra Academy, Bangalore. In the meanwhile, that is a 6-month course. So in the meanwhile, I did that too. So I got to know more about automotive design as a discipline, and as a industry. Automotive design as an industry. I got to know more people, more exposure I got from there as a design, but as an automobile design. Not for preparing NID, but I got to do some different projects. So that's how it helped when I repeated 1 year. Gave me time to build some projects.
Okay, it helped you in having an idea and got many data regarding this, right?
Yeah, and I did some, as I said, I did some projects too. I built a portfolio within that time. So portfolio matters when you go to NID or IIT or any design institute for that matter. when you go, the first thing they'll ask is the portfolio, because they want to know how you work, how you deal with problems, how you deal with, how you come up with solutions, how are your concepts. Yeah, they want to know how you deal with problems, how you come up with solutions and concepts and all. So portfolio matters. So take time building your portfolio too, but in the meanwhile, yeah. So that's how it helped me in that year. 1 year of repetition.
Okay, okay. So how did COVID, the very dangerous or what to call a pandemic, affect you?
Uh, affect me, like you are saying that before, like how I prepared, and
I like
is that it?
yeah. My whole question is like you got not like students had to miss their classes in schools and colleges and due to this pandemic, and how did it affect you in order to this whole thing?
After getting to NID is what you're asking?
Yeah. After getting to NID, I guess you got into
Because
like
when
the situation happened after you getting into NID, right? Or
so just when COVID started, I gave this exam, and during the COVID lockdown and all those restrictions happening, at that time only we had this interview. So most of the COVID scenario was happening when I was in NID. So yeah, so talking about NID,
it just started at that time.
Yeah, so it actually started by September. My course started by September, and this pandemic, that lockdown happened in March. So
March, yeah.
So at that time I was waiting for NID's results. So NID's results, and then the second mains happened. Mains happened in around June, July, I guess. It was supposed to happen by March. At that time, I had this date. I had to go there, but at that time, this lockdown happened. Everything went haywire, and they conducted this by around June, July, I guess. And then the results came by September. And the first semester completely was eaten by COVID, I would say. First semester completely, I was at home, doing the whole course, sitting at home. First semester. After that, the second semester started with us going to the campus for 1.5 months, like 6 weeks, as I said. So we went there. We had to deal with some pending courses, like where we had to do it in the lab, college lab, whichever we had to do it in the lab itself. Those courses were shifted from first semester to the second semester. Some two courses. So we had to do that at the campus, and the whole campus life was. We had the fear of COVID, but they managed it really well. NID managed it really well. When we got into the campus, we had to do this RT-PCR, and with that negative results only we had to go there. We could go there, and then we went there. They checked all this, and then for the next 1.5 months we were in the campus, and we didn't even go out. Nobody went out. Okay, so it was kind of a bio bubble at that time, like bio bubble, right? It's called bio bubble. Yeah, so it was something like that. So nobody went out, nobody came in. Faculties came in from outside only, but they also had like a lot of restrictions and all those stuff. But I didn't feel any sort of problem being in the campus. I didn't miss going out. We had all our friends there. We built new friends. I mean, we met new people. We knew people better in that campus itself, and you have almost all the facilities inside the campus, so you don't have to worry about that. So that was the starting of the second semester. Then after that we came back, and till now we haven't went back.
So I guess classes are still going on.
Yeah, classes are still going on. Yes, but they are considering the situation. They are considering the situation really well. They are but giving us more time, more freedom to work, considering the situation, and they are considerate. Yes.
Okay.
So this is how COVID happened. Like a COVID is related to my academics in NID.
Okay. When did you hear NID for the first time?
Hearing NID for the first time, as I said, I wanted to be an automobile designer. I don't know where it came from. Like to me, automotive designing, there is something called automotive designing. I don't know where it came from, but it came to me somehow. And then with that limited, very slow internet at that time, so during the school days, sometimes I used to search for how to become an automotive designer, something like that. So at that time, I got to hear NID, wherein I think that's the time when transportation design as a department came into picture in NID. So at that time, it is not too old. I think it's it's in my school days itself. Yes. So at that time, I got to know there is an institute called National Institute of Design (NID), and there is a master's course where we can do transportation and automobile design. Master's course. So that's when I got to know about NID. Then there also I saw this BDes course, bachelor's course, but I didn't have the guts to attend that exam at that time. I thought my sketching skills are very low, and I saw some guys whose sketches are like super realistic, and even I got to know that they didn't get to in NID. So I thought, let's not try right now. Let's be safe, do some BTech, and then go for the masters, because masters, there is an option for masters too, right? So that's why I waited and did my BTech and then came for M.Des. So during my school days, I got to know about NID through internet only.
Okay, yeah. So you already knew before taking a BTech, before going to BTech, you already knew about, you had a plan about going to NID or taking M.Des as your career.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not like exactly M.Des and this is what NID is what I want to do. Not like that. The spark came to me after a BTech. So I thought, this is now when I have to go behind my dreams.
Okay.
That's when I seriously got to do, try for NID and this profession.
Okay. Moving on, offline exams or online exams, what would you prefer, or what was your experience? Did you write both of them?
Yeah. I am lucky enough to have attended both the ways.
I've got both experiences.
Yeah, both the experience. And both the experience, like till the mains. Like I had attended mains both the time, so that was a really nice experience, and both were very different. So in the first time when I was attending the exam, after the prelims, I got I got selection to mains, so I could attend mains at that time. So I went to the college. At that time this whole evaluation goes like this. So prelims has something like 40% weightage, and the second round, that is the mains, has 60% weightage. Sorry. 60% weightage, and out of that 30 would be studio test and 30 would be interview. Okay, so this was completely divided into 3 parts, and studio test was really awesome. That was so initially, so it studio test is also 3 hours. Usually it is 3 hour test, and the first part would be like you will be sketching more like a live sketch or something. Before I went, I had heard that there were JCB and auto rickshaws. So they'll place that vehicle over there, and you can sit around, and whatever perspective you see, you can sketch that and bring in the maximum detail out of it. within the given time. Okay, that is also like you won't be given 1 hour. For complete 1 hour you won't be getting. So it also has parts. So yes, so when I went there, the first question was um, they kept a cycle over there, bicycle, and it's not like the old time. So we were not asked to sketch as we see. We were asked to sketch like a scenario wherein a person, an adult, is riding that bicycle and he's having a child of around 5 to 6 years on his bicycle sitting with him. So so it was all about, as I said, proportions. So how much height this bicycle will be for a normal adult, how much height will be that for the child, and that kind of understanding we had to have. So that was there, and then they asked something like they gave some tail lights, the brake lights of cars that we usually see in Indian roads, and they were asking to not write the car's name. They were asking to write the company's name, and we had to sketch the logo of that company. That was like I think that was a 10-minute question. And after that, so this happens like we have a studio over there, and from there we'll be taken to some place where this bicycle was there, and then we'll go back to the studio, and then we'll be doing this second part of the first question. And the second hour, so 1 hour will be gone. The second hour will be like we have to design. So first one is live sketching. The second one, first is sketching skills. Second one is designing skills, and the third part was to model something with whatever they give. Okay, they'll give some materials. You have to model something that they ask. So this is the usual pattern of the studio test. So first will be sketching, second will be designing, and third will be prototyping, you can say like that. And that was studio test. And interview was also really cool. They were asking some normal questions from the portfolio and outside the portfolio, some normal. But initially when you get in, you'll have that kind of nervousness, but they'll help us be cool. Yeah. So yes, so that was how the offline exam was. The online exam was, this was completely planned according to this problem, this pandemic, right? So at that time, the prelims was given much more weightage, and the second part, we cannot do some studio test over there, right? Through online, we can, sitting at home, we cannot do. Like I think prelims was given 60% and mains was given 40%. I think so, yeah. But this was completely interview based. The second online mode, it was complete interview, where they assess your portfolio too, and they'll ask, similar to this, they'll ask general questions. They'll try to know your knowledge about things, your urge to know more, like do you explore things, do you try to understand new things, that kind of assessment.
Are you fit for this field or like that?
No, not like that. I'm saying, yeah, do you explore more stuff? Like they'll be asking. They asked me about, have you heard of flying taxi? Some concepts where it was based automotive based, but they were asking if you are reading articles and if you are really passionate about it. Like if you are passionate about it, you will try to get to know different things happening. Like yeah, so. I seriously don't know how they are assessing people, but with what I heard, they'll take. We had 19 seats over there. Out of that, 18 people are there in my batch, and everybody have their own different thing and different specialities and skill sets and all. So we get a chance to learn from everybody, like peer-to-peer learning. They give more support on that too. So yes.
So, what do you think? Are people generally aware of these design courses? Were you influenced? Were you able to influence any juniors or your relatives or anybody? Because there is a stereotype like a student when in a home you go for engineering, either engineering or medicine. This is what even my parents know. Only these many courses. Like they don't know about any design courses. They hardly know NIFT or they don't know much of it. So, did you influence any of your juniors to?
Yeah, in our place, like talking about design in Kerala. Talking about design in our place in Kerala, it is more like people know about fashion design. They have heard about fashion design. They have heard about interior design, and some people might have heard about product design and graphic design, and they don't actually get more deep into it. There are a lot of courses. Even in NID, you have ceramic design, like furniture design, you have photography design. Those are separate beautiful courses, but people doesn't know about the importance of it, and that's it. So I am not sure whether I have influenced a lot of people, but I could like make them aware that there is something called design. Some people, at least, like my friends, some friends actually had attended NID exams, and so there are people who right now, till now, automotive design is something like people thinking it is done by engineers. It's not done by engineers, it is done by designers. So yeah, design is something like very not that known to people at this place, and I think I have made it clear to some people that there is something called design. But I'm not sure whether I have influenced them, or I'm not sure whether I have like persuaded them, or I don't know, motivated them, I don't know, because still people are like they don't want to think more. But I can see a lot of people nowadays coming to design, and I'm really happy for that. And
people are
institutes
changing,
like
right?
THiNC, institutes like THiNC are coming and promoting design. It's really, really nice. Yes.
Okay. Are you targeting a particular firm for placement? Any dream job or something like that?
Dream job would be I want to do motorcycle design. I like motorcycles a lot. Motorcycle.
More than a
car, yeah.
More than a 4-wheeler?
Yeah. So I'm a bike guy. I want to do motorcycle design, and I want to. So dreams could be like very high, right? So I want to get into Ducati as a motorcycle designer. But now I have some other like thoughts in my mind too, like starting a design studio, a design studio, design firm, or design consultancy or so. Because after getting more into design, I'm like, yeah, this has to be told to everybody. This has to get into everybody. This is not something like as a profession. This has to be there, and everybody is doing design, knowingly or unknowingly. So they have to find it out. Right. So I want to do something like that to like give awareness to people about design. Even design can help a lot of startups come up really well. Like product design is very important, graphic design, yes. So all kinds of design. And yeah, so as a motorcycle, as an automobile designer, I want to do motorcycle design. But even I want to start a design firm after not suddenly or in recent time, but maybe in future.
Somewhere in the far run,
Yeah.
Okay.
Do something here.
Okay. So how is the placement in NID Gandhinagar?
Placement in NID, I also had this question when before taking NID, because at least I wanted to be in NID, but at least I have to convince my people, my relatives, that not relatives, at least my parents and my brothers, and that you will get placed in NID. At that time, I used to research a lot on, like, I used to ask questions in Quora and all, like whether you will get placed in NID, you will get placed in NID. Everybody was saying that don't think of placements in NID. It's not about placement in NID, and don't come to NID for getting placed. That's what I got the answers from all the Quora. But that is actually true. But I'm not. I feel it is true that NID is not somewhere you can come and get placed for placement. But I am a part of the student placement cell in NID. Right now, I am a representative from my discipline. So I know how the placement works in NID almost, a little bit at least. So I would say that there is beautiful placement. You will get placed, you will get proper salary. Don't worry about placements in NID. You will get job, and you will get into proper good companies where they'll pay you and you will have growth. That I can assure. I cannot say the company names or package or something, but you will get a good job and a good amount of salary too. That I can assure you. And the placement at NID, the process happens like okay. So and the placement at NID works. How it works is like you have two campuses at Gujarat, which is Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar campus. Ahmedabad being the main campus, where all this administration and everything, it could be called as a head office, head campus. And Gandhinagar is the PG campus, where we have all these postgraduate courses over there. I would say only postgraduate courses are there in Gandhinagar. In Ahmedabad, you have postgraduate as well as undergrad. And in Bangalore campus, it is called as Research and Development, R&D campus, and there also you have only PG courses. And one discipline won't be there in all the campuses. You have one course in one campus. Like transportation design will be in Gandhinagar campus. You won't get into. You cannot get that in another campus. But the product design is in Ahmedabad campus. You won't get that in Gandhinagar. But the placements happens as like irrespective of whatever discipline you are. If you are interested, say you are doing transportation design, if you are getting more interested and into UI UX on the course, during the course, and you are getting more interested in UI UX, you can attend UI UX design, because if you have a portfolio, you will get job. Okay, and you can go like cross-disciplinary and transdisciplinary or whatever. You can go like that, do the placement, and the placement happens like Gandhinagar and Ahmedabad campus. Placement happens together in a certain time, where all the three campus people can attend all these interviews. If you want, you can attend the interviews, and then after that, in a separate time, you have placements in Bangalore campus, where this is the same case. All the three campus people can attend that interview. So no companies are restricted to anyone. Like you can attend whichever interview you want. And there are some sort of restrictions as in the number of number of interviews you can attend, number of companies you can attend. But still, that cannot be called a restriction. But you have the freedom to attend any discipline, any department interviews. Yeah, I know some examples wherein a person who did furniture design went as a transportation designer. So there is no restriction on that. If you have the portfolio on it, if you have works to show, if you are interested, you can get. No worries. A lot of opportunities.
So we are about to pack up for the session. So what is that one piece of advice that you want to give the coming aspirants from your side?
That is a really good question. This is something which I learned the hard way. Don't worry about the exam and getting into the institution too much. Do the work you want to do. Develop yourself as a designer in the first place, and you will get it. To be frank, that is what happened to me. I worried more in getting into the institution. I didn't get. I developed myself as a designer. I worried more about developing myself as a designer. I got into NID. So don't worry about that. Don't worry. If I don't get into NID, what will happen? Those kind of worries are not required. You can attend the next year also. I am seeing my batch. In my batch, I can see there are people of the age of 30, 33 and all. I have seen people of at this age who have done all the. I'm talking about M.Des. So there is no limit on this. So if you seriously want to get into NID, or if you seriously want to get into design, it is worth repeating if you don't get in the first chance. But if you can get in the first chance if you don't worry about about getting in, and if you develop yourself, you can get in. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was nice meeting you, knowing about your plans, your career, and your life. Thank you for sharing all these things with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. It was a really awesome conversation between us, and I seriously thank THiNC Institute for giving me that fire in me in the first place, or else I would have stopped this thing. Yeah, I thank THiNC Institute for that, and I thank all of the people who are actually taking this initiative to help like asking those who got into NID their experience, interaction with them. Not only NID, but all the institutions, all the other institutions as well, and also and people getting into design. I'm really happy for that. Yeah. All the best for all of you who are watching this video, and all the best to THiNC Institute, Aditya.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. So for more such interesting videos, stay tuned to our channel. Don't forget to share, subscribe and like to our channel. And we are very much active on our YouTube community page and our Telegram channel as well. The link for the Telegram channel is given in the description box below. So stay tuned till the next video. Bye-bye from THiNC Institute of Design. It's me, Aditya.
Preparation going. What makes you different is how you prepare for the exam. We are consistent in producing top results both in the field of architecture and design, which is of course our pride, and we welcome you for the upcoming courses. We have short-term courses, long-term courses. Short-term courses include crash batches and foundation batch, and long-term courses include regular batches, repeater batches and long-term weekend batches. For more details regarding our courses, visit our website www.thinkthis.com. The link will be provided in the description box below. Let's design your career. Let's design it together with THiNC Institute of Design. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and also click the bell icon. Bye. Stay tuned for more updates.